Ladies and gentlemen, the story you are about to see is true. The names have been changed to protect the innocent.
This is the city. One of the biggest in the United States. Spreads out in all four directions like a broadloom rug. To the south and west, it's the downtown business district. To the east, the industrial area. Los Angeles, California. It's pretty much like your town. This is a Spanish priest, one of the city's founders. It's changed a lot since then. It's got high-tension wires bringing in the power and bus lines to get you where you're going. It's got railroads and freight yards. Churches, any kind you want. Public parks and lakes. It's got a police department. And a city hall. This is where I work. I'm a cop. It was Thursday, July 17th. It was sultry in Los Angeles. We were working the day watch out of robbery detail. My partner's Ed Jacobs. The boss is Captain Didion. My name's Friday. It was 1:35 p.m. when we got back to the city hall. 9 months before, a jewelry salesman was slugged and robbed of $20,000 in precious stones. It took us weeks of investigation before we discovered the man responsible for the holdup. It took more weeks of legwork to gather all the evidence. We needed one more thing. His statement. Ed, you want to call the captain? He said he'd be in the corner pocket.
I'd still like to know what this is all about, Sergeant, dragging me down here in the middle of the day.
Hold it a minute, Darby.
Yeah, thanks. Hi, Skipper. This is Jacobs. We just got back. Yeah. All of them? Good. Right. We're in your office. Yeah, thanks.
The others check in all right?
Yeah, just got back. Worked out fine.
Would you please explain what this is about? Why have you brought me down here?
We think you know why.
I don't. I haven't any idea. You take me away from my store on a busy day, you put a police guard on it, you insist on bringing me down here. What's it all about? Now tell me.
You tell us, Mr. Garvey.
Tell you about what?
The jewel robbery 9 months ago, the holdup.
What holdup? My store hasn't been robbed.
We're talking about your friend, Thomas Ashley.
Ashley? What about him?
We think you remember it 9 months ago, the parking lot back of the building down on 4th Street.
Oh, yes, surely. Some holdup man slugged him, stole his case of samples. I remember it now, yeah. Poor Tom. The thief made a big haul, didn't he?
Unset diamonds, $20,000 worth.
Yeah, I remember it now. I don't think Tom's gotten over it yet. I was a jewelry salesman for the same company at the time. You know, the same company Tom was working for, I mean.
Yeah, we know.
Some of the big bosses thought Tom had a hand in it. They figured it was a put-up job. Nothing was further from the truth.
That's so?
Of course, I know Tom. Close friend of mine. He wouldn't be mixed up in a deal like that. Tom and I worked out of the same office for years. We've had him over to the house for dinner. We've even been on vacations together. One of the most honest men I know.
You sure about that, are you?
Of course I'm sure. Say, that isn't why you called me down here, is it? You don't think Tom had anything to do with that robbery, do you? You don't think he was in on it?
He had nothing to do with it. Think you know that as well as we do.
Then why am I here? There's nothing I can tell you about the holdup, only what I heard from Tom, what I read in the newspapers.
Now, you can tell us a lot more, Garvey. We didn't bring you down here just to pass the time of day.
Tom was slugged and his sample case of stones was taken. That's all I can tell you.
You're a liar, mister.
What?
You engineered the whole thing. We know it, and so do you.
Is this some kind of a joke? If it is, I think it's in bad taste.
It's a long way from a joke, Garvey. You planned the job, you got the loot. We can give you chapter and verse.
I really think you're serious. You think I robbed Tom?
We got it past the thinking stage, Garvey. We already told you. We know you robbed him.
Now, wait a minute. This thing's ridiculous. The whole idea is ridiculous. I don't know who gave you the so-called information on me, but it's wrong. Nothing further from the truth.
Nobody gave us the information. We got it ourselves.
You're really serious, are you? I robbed Tom, and you can prove I did.
You're getting the idea.
I don't know what to say. It's fantastic. I robbed my best friend, Tom Ashley, 9 months ago. I have $20,000 worth of diamonds, and you can prove it.
Every bit of it. What about it?
I think you're out of your mind. My name is Ernest George Garvey. Are you sure I'm the man you want? There couldn't be a mistake.
There's no mistake.
This thing would be funny if I didn't think you were serious. Let me ask you just one question. Maybe that'll clear it up for you.
Yeah?
If I held up Tom Ashley, how is it he didn't recognize me?
You know better than that, Garvey.
What?
You didn't hold up Tom Ashley yourself. You had someone do it for you.
Oh, cloak and dagger, huh? I'm afraid this is getting a little too wild for me, Sergeant. Maybe you can waste your time making ridiculous charges. I can't. I'm going back to my store.
It's a weak bluff, mister. It's not going to do it.
Excuse me, are you sure you two men haven't been drinking?
Sit down, Garvey.
I told you I'm going back to my
Sit
store.
down.
You have no right to keep me here. Ridiculous charges. You think I'm one of those cheap hoodlums you're used to dealing with?
Now, come off it, mister. You got a $5,000 car and a $40,000 home. That doesn't rate you special treatment. You're a thief. You know it as well as we do.
I don't have to take this from you.
You haven't got much choice, mister. We just finished 5 months legwork proving it.
Proving what?
Sit down. You engineered that holdup. We know who you got to do it. We know how it was carried out. We know how you planned on disposing of the diamonds. We know who your fence was. We know what the split was. We know what you did with part of the money. We know how much you got left.
Is that right?
Yeah, that's right.
What can I say? I don't even know what you're talking about.
Any way you want it, Mr. Garvey.
Maybe you'd like to tell me why I did all this.
You know it better than we do.
No, I mean it. Tell me.
You weren't making enough money at your job to suit yourself, suit your wife either.
It's pretty good. Marilyn get a big kick out of that.
All right, mister. We can wait it out as long as you want. We spent 9 months on it already. Another few days aren't going to make that much difference.
Just as a matter of curiosity, how'd you first start off on this tangent? Whatever gave you an idea that I had anything to do with the holdup?
When you started to spend money, new car, new office for yourself, new fur coat for your wife, transferred your 2 children to that private school.
That makes a holdup man out of me because I wanted to send my kids to a better school?
Where'd the money come from? Can you explain that?
Don't you think that's my business, Sergeant? Where I get my money, what I do with it?
Not when you get it stealing.
I'm afraid you're going just a little too far. You insist I'm a thief, I'm going to insist you prove it.
All right, have a look over here, Mr. Garvey.
Yes?
Some of the reports in the investigation, reams of them. They cover everything from the time of the jewel robbery up to late yesterday. Now, it's all right there. Everything from the crime report to signed statements.
How could that concern me?
3/4 of the stuff concerns you. Have a look for yourself.
I still can't get it straight in my mind. What makes you think I had anything to do with that robbery?
Do you know what this is, Garvey, this machine here?
No, some kind of recording apparatus.
That's right, it's a tape recorder.
You've been taking down this conversation. Why?
No, not this one. We've been recording every conversation that took place in your office for the past 4 months, every word.
What do you mean?
Just that, Garvey. Every time you talked on the phone, every visitor you had, it's all down on tape. 25 reels of it.
Interesting. Is that supposed to frighten me?
We don't care if it frightens you or not. Something else.
Yes?
Reports on what you've been doing for the last 4 months. Daily reports, every movement you made.
Is that so?
Everywhere you went, everyone you talked to, everything you did. You like to hear a sample?
This must be some kind of a joke. That's the only explanation I can think of.
May 12th, Thursday. Sergeants Bitteroff and Rafferty. Those are the 2 officers that were tailing you at the time. You checked in at your new office at 9:38 a.m. At 10:03 a.m., you had a visitor, a Kenneth Tyson. You talked to him in your office. Conversations recorded. Tyson left at 10:18 a.m. At 10:32 a.m., you left your office.
If you're trying to impress me, I'm afraid it isn't working out very well.
Care for a cigarette, Garvey?
Well, thanks, I have my own.
All right.
I've wasted enough time. Exactly what's the point of all this?
It's pretty simple. You're responsible for a robbery. We can prove it. We're giving you a chance to make a statement.
It's nonsense.
Is it?
Of course. People following me, checking everything I do, where I spend my money, where I send my kids to school. What's it all about? It doesn't make sense.